Happy New Year. It is January 1st. Almost supposed to be about 70 degrees today. The bees are definitely flying. Nuke 1 and 2. Got the hives here. Going strong. Just a quick note about these little balls of chewed up bees at the base of the hive. Heard a lot of times like skunks, but we don't have any skunks here that I've caught on our camera, but we do have possums, and they seem to go, they eat a lot of dead bees off the ground, but I'm noticing on the camera that they're also reaching up at the bottom board. So I saw a few blocks underneath the, around here. On the nukes too. I got that on video as well. See if I can share that with you. It's December 2nd, and I cleaned these bottom boards, put fresh oil in yesterday. So just wanted to take a quick peek to see if there's any mites or anything in here that I can see. No small hive beetles. I think most of those died when it got cold the first time in November. I don't see any mites at all in that hive 1. This is hive 2. There's a mite in here. That's 1 mite in hive 2. This is hive 3 bottom board oil. Check. Got a bee in there. She must have been underneath there before I put it in. When I was taking the tray out to clean it, sometimes the bees will fly up onto the bottom. All right, this one was the last one to have the Apivar treatment. And there's 1, 2, 3 mites. So I'm not going to be selecting any bees from this hive for reproduction. So there's definitely not a hive that I would choose. It's interesting. The upper entrance was completely propolized shut just a few days ago, and they've completely opened it up. I've left the screen on the back so that I can open the inner covers without them flying out and bothering or getting after me when I'm checking inside. But there's a vent on the front too, they can get out. And then it's my little OA hole here got opened up. I'm just using tape for now unless I can find some better way to cover that. That works for now. This is Hive 4. Getting checked for mites or any signs of any issues. Just kind of looking in the hive at a glance without opening it up. All right, I see 1, 2, 3. I see 3 mites in here. 1, 2, 3. 3 mites in Hive 4. Oh, sorry. 4 mites in Hive 4. There's one up here. And this has been about 24 hours since I changed the oil, so these numbers are low, but there's not a lot of brood in here either. But we want to try to knock these back as far as we can right now when there's no brood, so they can't reproduce. This is Nuke 1. And this is just from the cappings they pulled off. This oil's a little bit yellow because I've reused it a few times, but I filter it out. And there's no mites in Nuke 1. This is Nuke 2. Nuke 1 was the overwintered queen from 2021. A lot of debris over here in this section, but I don't actually see any mites in there. That's a good sign. Yeah, that's it. I don't see any small hive beetles either, so they've either been corralled, propolized in, or maybe out of the hives this time of year. This is still quite a bit of bees in here. Seeing that all the seams. It's a pretty warm day. Don't see any issues. I'm gonna do a quick video here. It's been about a week since I've changed the oil, so I may pause in here every once in a while just so I can count mites, but this is what we got. It's actually quite a bit of cappings that have been chewed off. I'll go ahead and keep recording. You can kind of see in this corner where it's a little different looking, that's actually water. So there's moisture in the hive that's running down to the bottom board. Some of these look a little suspect. It almost looks like wax moth in there, but I've seen those throughout the year and I never see any wax moth in there. It's interesting. This time of year, there's definitely no small hive beetles in this hive. Or they're not being chased out anyways. Just looking for mites. I don't see any mites in this hive. This is Hive 1. This would be a good one to take stock from, or queen, if I needed to. This hive had enough mites that it was dropping 80 a day during the summer, so I gave it Apivar and it seemed to get it through, but I wouldn't use these genetics again just because of the hive next to it. As no mites at all, so assuming that's genetic. And again, there's some water down in here. And that's just from water inside the hive. It can be condensating, running down the sides, but it has nowhere to go except for into this pan. I do see a mite. Just let us in so I can point to it without spilling. There's a mite right here. There's a mite right here. So that's 2. There's a mite here. There's 3. That's all that I'm seeing right now. There's 3 mites in hive 2. This is hive 3. This one also got treated for mites. This one was treated the latest in the season. So that is a mite. That's probably like a proto-mite. Sorry, my hands are dirty from gardening. It's like a proto-mite, so it's not fully colored yet, but it is a mite. There's a mite. There's 2 mites for this hive. 3, 4. Make sure you see what I'm seeing. 3, 4. And there's some proto-mites in here. Not fully colored up. 5 and 6. Sure you can see that. 7. 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 in here. And that's the most out of everything we have here, but it's over a week's time, over 7 days, so much less. It's a little bit more than 1 a day. This is hive 4. That's interesting. Not sure what that is. Looks like a millipede. It's still alive underneath that oil too. Interesting. It's a weird creature to find in here. And there's a mite. Right in the center. 1. 2. This so I can point. So this was 1. 1, 2. So a third one on here. 3. Yes. There's one next to it. 4. 5. 4 over here. 6. 7, 8, 9. That's all I see. I see 9 in here in this tray. And I have 4. All right, gonna go over to Nuke number 1. The Nukes seem to have less white drop in them. Not sure if it's the hive configuration or just the genetics of the girls in here. And again, this oil was reused, so it's a little bit darker, but you can still see everything that fell. And I don't see any mites. Gonna check Nuke 2. Interesting. Nothing. Oh, I lied. I see at least 1. I can't tell if Can't tell if that's one, but that's definitely one. So this nuke has 2. This has been 1 week, so it's not too bad. I probably will do another oxalic acid treatment. At least on the big hive, since they have the slatted racks, I can do them quickly. I do have slatted racks for these hives, but they're not installed, so with such low numbers, I'm not too concerned about that. Something else interesting, in the cold weather, I put these vents on here. You can kind of see the bees in there, but I put this over here so that there's a notch on each side. I put it so that they can fly out the front or the back, but this allows me to pull the tops off so I can look at the inner covers without them coming out to defend the hive. But it does allow for ventilation. But a week or 2 ago, these were completely covered, and now they've pulled the propolis back off to allow venting. And then that one's mostly been removed, but still kind of partially closed. This one they left closed. There's a little slot at the bottom where they have to open. And hive 1, just open the bottom up a little bit, but the top's still closed. Well, like I said, these were all closed up before. There's a box that I'm gonna have to pull out of service and kind of get this stuff filled up. And this is this propolis gap that I saw before. I was mentioning how wide it was. That's easily a 1/16 of an inch now. It's probably gotten about a 32nd of an inch bigger, but over the next month or 2, this will keep getting bigger and bigger. It's just they keep shoving propolis into the gaps. But I'll follow up on that later. It's January 8th and they're bringing in pollen. There's no pollen substitute out, so it's just entirely natural pollen from somewhere. It could be the maples starting. And then this other nuke has got some coming in too. A lot more activity on this nuke. That blue piece of tape, it was actually a square piece of tape at one point, and when they were washboarding over the summer, they slowly just kept peeling it off. So I guess when they're washboarding, they are cleaning and peeling things off. Just come over and say hi here. I did notice them put some propolis on the outside of the hive, on the outside of the boxes too. I'm not sure if they're doing that when they're washboarding or what. That's all for today, January 8th, 2023.